So I'm used to have research field language. I'm from the Brighton area.
Hello, I'm Jackie Chase. I'm a music teacher. I moved from the Highlands of Scotland, where I lived in a small community, to marry my American husband and make a life here in Brighton. And I think I've been trying to create communities like the one I came from ever since, to be honest with you. The work that I've been doing brought me into contact with parents from obviously lots of different cultures and traditions who had very definitely, initially they were people who were interested in music. They'd read their child psychology books and discovered that music was a benefit to their children's development. So yes, they found a baby music class and joined it, and their children started up the tree from baby music, toddler music, to after school music, to learning specific instruments and then being mentored into bands or following the classical route through the exams. And I represent the Associated Board for all schools of music in Brighton for their music exams too. And the parents brought them there because they thought the music would be good for them. We found that the music was also very good for the parents, and the getting together with other parents was of enormous benefit. I'm sure you're aware that Brighton has the highest retention of students of any city in the whole of the UK, which is brilliant because it keeps it, the vibrant place with lots of different people from different places input that it is. But it also means that people get a few months into parenthood and go, oh my God, I wish I had the mother-in-law to come round and give me a break tonight, And they need safe spaces where they can go that are not necessarily supervised by social workers, health visitors, or any specific practices, but where they can just be with other people in community and just talk about the pain as well as the joy of being parents. So the music classes provided that too, but they also highlighted that those parents who were not stupid people were also becoming quite ignorant of what was going on locally and globally. They were so damn busy running from the baby to the job to la that they didn't have time to give the proper attention to local or to global issues that they'd like to. So they were becoming more fearful and making slightly more ignorant comments on things. And they were well aware that they couldn't trust mainstream media to give them the information that they required to make informed choices. But they just plain didn't have the time to do something about it. Brighton is a place that's full of people with specialist knowledge, whether you're talking sciences, arts, international affairs, local affairs. So this was an opportunity to bring people with specialist knowledge in our city in to talk to parents and to help them to keep up to speed with what was really going on from sources that we could hold accountable within our own community. So we started by getting Richard Guthrie down from the Harvard Sussex project, who was working on weapons of mass destruction and how to put antidotes in place to them. And it went from there to being those kind of events alongside a bit of music, to lots more speakers involved. And then many of the parents themselves, some of the mothers anxious about going back into the workplace because they thought they weren't quite as up to speed as they were when they were holding down, the job. While they were in their stage of wanting to devote their time to their children. So they started to get involved in doing presentations on the radio too. And more they moved from speakers into making podcasts, and then that becoming Radio Free Brighton. I'm cutting out an awfully long story there that involves some hippie peace festivals and things too, but you get the drift, yes? Now, the music classes involved, obviously, babies and give the parents a chance to get together. So any of you that are working with kids, please send the mothers along. Several mothers have said that they have learnt more English in baby toddler music than they have in the English classes. No disrespect to English language teachers at all. It's just that it's so simple when you're doing songs that are comprehensible by very small children, and the level of repetition that goes on in those kinds of classes, it really does help them. And the mums make friends, and they share gear with each other. They give each other's buggies, they give each other clothes, they go to the park together, they cry on each other's shoulders. It works. So please send them to us. They are so welcome with us. We also engage an awful lot of students and unemployed people and people from the Job Centre, from the Prince's Trust, from both of the universities in making radio shows, and then learn lots about different areas that are not their specific area of interest, but just things that because they're helping out running the radio, they start to find out about. So we've had academics who ended up being podcasters. We've had mathematicians that have ended up going back and doing astronomy. We've had bass guitar players that have ended up going and converting their degree to human rights law, working with you. Yes. So there's all sorts of ways, lots of people, if you give them an opportunity to look at different things. And working with children from other cultures and traditions, we've found that the demands of the parents are really quite different in different places. Because I'm sure you're aware music doesn't work with Muslim families because they don't find music something that they have a great deal of respect for. But their children, often they're very happy if we involve their children in things like science clubs or in literature clubs or opportunities to understand better the history of where we've got to in this country from an arts perspective, through getting involved in after-school activities that way. And all of the young people really enjoy getting involved in producing something that goes up in the internet. The making something into a radio show really means a lot to them. So do please send us all the children you're in touch with you possibly can. I miss communities where people didn't come to volunteer to get little marks on their CVs, but instead came because they felt they had a duty to each other to make our community strong. I miss civic duty. I miss that level where people understood how much richer their lives were by being part of each other's lives and putting ourselves out more for each other. I wish some of the things that you've been highlighting that we need were being done by volunteers. And I think there are so many good folks in Brighton offering to help, with the refugee situation, that it would be great if we can engage them really positively in specific programmes. And have an opportunity to introduce people who are coming here to the best of us. I've had a bunch of Albanian guys this week telling me that they really thought that all British people were like Tony Blair, and they've been here for 3 years. So why hasn't someone put them right bit about that? Yeah. Now I was going to show you a film that was made by a volunteer, just because I thought it just touched. I was really moved when she made this film. She came to us as a Polish student going to Sussex University, but it just touches on a lot of the things that she found strange coming to live here. I hope you find it interesting, but it certainly saves you having to listen to me for a while.
Dzisiaj, a my usłyszymy się za tydzień. Ja nazywam się Joanna Kmieć, a to jest Radio Free Brighton.
Thank you.